Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music. We're halfway through our deep dive of the UK Top 10 Singles Chart of the 28th of May 2009. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
And here's what we've covered so far. In at number 10, Fairy Tale by Alexander Rybak.
A Eurovision and violin collaboration.
Down 3 to number 9, a former number 1, it's Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
I don't know about poker, but I've got a lot of patience for it.
Was that a card game joke?
Yeah, if joke is a word.
Up 8 places to number 8, it's Kiss Me Through the Phone by Soulja Boy featuring Sammy.
Maybe the first example of FaceTime.
Down 2 to number 7, it's Not Fair.
It's great. Sorry, I was premature, James. Sorry, carry on.
By Lily Allen.
I really like it.
And down 3 to number 6, In For The Kill by LaRue.
An electro banger. All the songs featured can be found on our Spotify and our YouTube playlist. Links, as always, in the description. And if you join our Patreon community, you can get access to our bonus tracks. Half a dozen songs that are in the chart, but never, ever, ever made it to the top 10. Here's a little something for you of what you can expect in that.
Cool people don't go around going, hey, I'm cool.
No. Funds?
All right, maybe the funds. But that is it. I'm drawing the line.
Taylor Swift, I think, sometimes as well. She's got a little touch of the Morrissey about her.
He said, my mum saw this song and she called me and was like, my friend's son is becoming a doctor and my son is writing pop songs about sex.
I've just watched an Adam Sandler movie. I'm going to kill myself because he just did move me.
Yep, all that kind of stuff.
That's how it starts. It all starts with jump to the left, step to the right, and before you know it, it's invade Poland. Join our community now at patreon.com/ShoobyPodcast.
Number 5.
It's a new entry at number 5. It's Daniel Merriweather with the song entitled Red.
Daniel Merriweather, my close personal friend.
How do you mean?
I met him once, radio interview.
What are your memories of the interview with him?
He seemed all right.
Lovely fella.
They're very strange, those radio interviews with pop stars, because particularly if you, like me, are on a sort of regional commercial station and they'll have been on a tour doing lots and lots of those interviews. So you're just another one of the 100 they've done. And they're trying to promote their album, single, live tour. You're trying to get them to say something funny or interesting. And then, you know, there are some that know how to play the game, and then there are some that clearly don't want to be there. In my memory, Daniel Merriweather was someone who was quite happy to play the game. And I do mean that literally, because I used to play Beat the Intro with them.
Okay.
I used to do a little pop quiz with them, see how they do. And he was quite good at it, I seem to remember.
So that's his, let's call it, public persona. Big tick next to him. Like I said, I was out the country a little bit when these charts was going on. So let's say I was not as engaged with the charts. I didn't hear them out and about on whatever you might have been listening to them. I immediately dismissed the song when I heard it initially. About the third, fourth time I heard it. I think it's pretty sweet, actually.
This song gets me right where I live.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I don't know what it is. There's something about this song that I find incredibly appealing.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
I really like it.
Okay.
And, you know, the thing is, it's the kind of song that I usually roll my eyes about. You know, it's quite earnest.
Yeah. We have one every week. It's this week's sensitive singer-songwriter bemoaning the woman in his life hasn't treated him well. I mean, again...
Is that what you think it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was about as well. It's not what Daniel Merriweather says.
Why? What's he saying it's about? He would know, of course, for being a bit stupid.
He says it's about the blindness of war and the absence of compassion displayed by Western administrations. I thought, is it though? I don't think it is, Daniel. I mean, he didn't write it, so...
Yeah. How does he know then?
Yeah, exactly. It's written by Scott McFarlane and produced by Mark Ronson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He sings it good. It's got nothing but classic ballad written all over it. I'm going to say Daniel Merriweather, despite your protestations, it's about what's it about? The war.
The blindness of war and the absence of compassion displayed by Western administrations.
All right, then. Well, let's first of all get into this notion. He says, I can't do this by myself. All of these problems, they're all in your head. I mean, these days, you'd be accused of gaslighting with that, James.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the hook of you took something perfect and painted it red, but I liked it, though. I suppose painted it red knowing war is blood and warfare.
I thought he was like singing it to Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen after a particularly challenging episode of Changing Rooms.
Yeah. When he really loved his proper wooden door that was stripped and varnished, and then Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen comes painting it in the scarlet. Took something perfect and painted it red.
Could you?
Jem Carmen9722 on YouTube says it's a perfect song to sit and cry to when you need a good cry. Anybody else feel the same way? You did a little bit, James, seemingly.
So Daniel Merriweather is from Australia. He was born in Sassafras in the Dandenong Ranges, which are real places and not lines of dialogue from Stop the Pigeon. His album Love and War got to number 2, and then he didn't release another album. He released a single on an independent label in 2019, on his own label, and just kind of disappeared. I found an email address for him, and I emailed him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
But what?
I haven't checked to see whether he's replied.
Maybe next week we could talk about that in what we'll call the Daniel Merriweather update. What did you write to me in your email?
I said, hi, Daniel. I'm doing a podcast about pop music. We're talking about the song Red. Just wondered if you wanted to chat about it.
He's probably too busy in the trenches.
He would go, it's about war. Shut up.
I suppose if his album's called Love and War, is it a concept album? How the fuck is this about war, this family?
Are you looking at the lyrics?
I am. It's obviously written with that intention, let's say.
Because there's a thing about all these people, you don't know their names. That could be about like the nameless victims and...
Okay, you see the pictures, but you don't know their names. Love isn't here. All right, then.
Could be.
I'm not arguing. I mean, when Eddie Grant claimed, as we learned a few weeks ago in the podcast, when Eddie Grant claimed, I don't want to dance, is about Britain, you accept what the artist says, I suppose. If somebody tells you what they are, believe them.
You say about his album being called Love and War. In 2011, Robin Thicke released an album called Love After War.
Okay.
And Daniel Merriweather tweeted... In 2009, I released what became a platinum album, Love and War, and now @Robin Thicke decides to drop Love After War. And Robin Thicke responded by saying, sorry, bro, I've never heard of you.
Good
God
response.
bless.
Good response. I mean, if Daniel Merriweather is trying to claim some sort of intellectual copyright for the words love and war, he's on the short shrift, let's say.
We took a short break from recording there to check the email, and he has not replied.
I think it might be because you might have wrote Love James at the end of it, and then he's angry with you for using the word love, possibly.
Number 4.
A non-mover at number 4, it's We Made You by Eminem, your favourite.
He is not my favourite. That special place in my heart is for, of course, Sir Paul McCartney. But whenever Eminem releases an album, his first single is always the funny, catchy one. I'm a big fan of his first singles off his albums.
Yeah, there appears to be some tropes that he relies on in these singles.
Guess who's back?
He's always referring to himself having returned from somewhere, and then he will do some sort of reference to topical celebrities of the day, usually implying that he wants to have sex with them or hurt them.
Yep.
And then he will list a lot of medication that he's on.
That's it. That is pretty much his opening singles for every album he's done.
That's his formula.
Yeah, I love it about him. I mean, you know, like when the last one, as you know, James Houdini came out, it started with Guess Who's Back. I was so delighted. He is back. Shady's back. Pop cultural references. There's a lot in here he has a go at, doesn't he? He is
Yeah.
He mentions Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, he says, Jessica Simpson, sing the chorus. And it is not Jessica Simpson singing. It is a singer called Charmaine Tripp.
Yeah, she does a great job as well. I'm a bit confused, despite my Eminem fandom. I like the notion of the chorus. We're the ones who made you, and the female voice that comes in. It's a strange chorus, isn't it, for essentially the verses doing what he does.
Because who's he saying has made him?
Well, it's not him saying it because he's got a female voice. So I'm guessing it's figuratively, it's a choir of people saying to Eminem, you want to calm down, we made you. I think that's what it's about.
Are they saying the celebrities have made him or his fan base?
I think because it's so celebrity based, I think you could say it's a pop at everybody in celebrity culture, including himself. It's not like Not Fair by Lily Allen. He absolutely thinks he's part of the problem himself, Eminem. I'm not sure he does think he's part of the problem, actually. I love it, though. I mean, he has a little go at Amy Winehouse and Blake in there, doesn't he? Jennifer Aniston and John Mayer. He also gives a shout-out to celebrity lesbians, basically implying that their partner or them would be happier with him rather than their chosen.
Yeah.
It's a real dick move, but nonetheless, I like it when he does it. Ellen DeGeneres, he says, come over here, and Lindsay Lohan and whoever. Some people will find it offensive. I don't. I liked it.
He does with, like, heterosexual couples as well. That is what he's saying. He doesn't discriminate about the couples he wants to break up.
His bile and spite is for everybody.
And of the 9 couples he refers to, 7 of them are no longer together. Some of them split up very, very close to this record coming out. Is it a curse? Is it the curse of Eminem?
Yeah.
Or is it just law of averages that celebrity romances don't tend to last very long? To be fair, Sarah and Todd Palin only divorced in March 2020, and Jessica Alba is still together with the person she was with then, and Portia de Rossi and Ellen DeGeneres are still together.
I looked at YouTube comments again. Someone again said, if you're listening to this, you're a legend. So I like that.
In the old days, you used to do something to be a legend. Now you just have to watch a YouTube video. How standards have slipped.
You used to have to pull a sword out of a stone that wouldn't come out. Now you can just, right there. Mirage Music UK says, Emmy's the funniest fucker alive when he's in this kind of form. I sort of agree with that. Now, what I sort of remember, James, there was an article in The Guardian when this single came out. I remembered it annoyed me at the time, so I had a little Google in what I like to call research. I don't know if you're familiar with this concept, James. I sometimes have a Google, try and find some facts out. There's a journalist called Anna Pickard. She wrote a letter to Eminem about this song. I guess it's in the style.
Dear Eminem.
In the style of Stan, isn't it? That's what she says. It annoyed me at the time. She's sort of having to go with him. Well, they broke up, like what we've just alluded to. Like, that matters. Like, that's a problem. She's saying it's not as relevant because somehow he's not managed to keep bang up to date with the news. She has to go at him in the video because he's little skits of Star Trek and Rain Man, the movie, the film. She's saying that's old-fashioned. She suggests an early retirement. I mean, I get it. It's journalism, and you can say what you like, and you don't have to like every record just because I like it. But, I'm kind of saying to him, Pickard, shut up. You know what I mean? It's a great song, I think. Catchy, joyous, self-lacerating, turns his critical eye out to the world. I was digging it, of course. One of the ones I bought.
Yeah, we've spoken about Eminem on this podcast before. And
we did.
I have made this point, and I stand by it, that he is basically the pop music answer to South Park. Do you think Anna Pickard was upset with him doing a Star Trek parody because she is related to Jean-Luc Picard? And it's not a Next Generation parody, is it? It's the original series, and maybe that's why she's upset.
It's all beginning to make a kind of sense now, you big nerd. I liked it. Also, whilst I was looking at the YouTube comments, maybe more edifyingly, there were a lot of people mentioning some of the performers in the video. Trish Baitas.
Yes, I'm familiar with her. She's a YouTube person now, isn't she? Singer.
Is she? Yep. So she's in it. There's a fella called Derek Barry. Do you know who he might be?
He sounds like he works in a factory in the 70s.
American performance artist who appeared on RuPaul's Drag Race, all that kind of stuff, so that's pretty good.
There are adult actresses in the video.
There are adult actresses in the video. And again, a certain type of clientele on the YouTube are delighted they've turned up.
Number 3.
Down 1 to 3 this week. It's a former number 1. It is Tinchy Strider featuring N-Dubs with the title of the record being what they've been former. It's number 1. It's called the song. That's what I'm saying. I'm guessing, James, that link wouldn't have passed muster in your radio days.
No, you'd be immediately fired.
Not for the first time.
This is the first single called number 1 to peak at number 1 on any national singles chart in the world.
Really?
Yes.
Pretty good.
First bit of nominative determinism to actually come off. The Tremolos had a song called Call Me Number 1, and S Club 7 had a song called You're My Number 1, but they both only got to number 2.
I mean, in the record, they're saying You're My Number 1 a lot, aren't they?
They are.
I couldn't believe this record got to number 3. I'm going to say, didn't like this song. I thought, God, my nerves this week listening to this.
Yeah, what didn't you like about it?
I didn't like the tune. I didn't like the sound. I didn't like N-Dub's contribution. I didn't like the words. I mean, what else? Where can I start?
You didn't like the words? You didn't like From My Homie to My Only?
No.
You're my number one. You didn't. You weren't fond of that.
Nope.
Rhyming Homian only.
Did you like this song? You're saying?
This was on the playlist. It's just noise to me, this
Yeah.
song. So, I try to listen to it with an open mind. I don't think I hate it as much as you do.
It
really.
did take me to a place.
Oh, yeah.
But a place where I did not want to go. It's not for us, James. Should we haven't mentioned Nile Rodgers this week. Should we do it? Nile Rodgers says, weekly mention, if a song is in the top 10 charts, it must be a good song because it's connected with enough people for them to buy it despite all the other songs they could buy. So there's that argument. I always like to mention Niles Rodgers once a week, James.
Can I ask you this, Mr. Robinson? Have you ever lived in Boston, Lincolnshire?
Nope.
Okay.
I have drove near there.
Okay. Because Dappy, off of N-Dubs, real name Kostadinos Kontastavlos, on 12th of January 2010, he appeared on The Chris Moyle Show on Radio 1, along with his bandmates Fazer and Talisa. And the show received a text message from someone in Boston, Lincolnshire, complaining that Dappy was vile and a little boy with a silly hat, and that N-Dubs were losers. Dappy secretly copied her phone number from the studio console, and the following day tried calling her and then sent threatening messages.
You nana, Dappy.
Yeah. Dappy's management later apologised on his behalf and offered free tickets to an N-Dubs concert. I don't think they wanted that.
No.
That's not something you should offer.
I know a comic once who insulted somebody. They were pretty annoyed, right? And as a sort of apologetic gift, he gave that person a DVD of themselves. I'm sorry I annoyed you the other day. Here, I thought I'd get you this. I mean, the person who received it couldn't have been more furious. His way of apologising was, look at me for a bit more.
N-Dubs were subsequently dropped from the government's anti-bullying campaign. Dappy has been convicted of assault 4 times, which, again, is slightly problematic person singing a song that is, in essence, quite sweet.
Yeah, another sweet song.
It is about basically a one-night stand, and the bloke goes, oh, but actually...
I do quite like it.
I think she might be the one. She might be the number one. She's gone from my homie to my only.
It's another one of those songs with a self-reference in it, so there's that going for it.
That thing at the beginning where they announce the name of the people.
Didn't you strike that?
And N-Dubs. It's like, we know.
Yo!
We know.
It's a great little thing. I mean, Jason Derulo wouldn't be here without doing that all the time, I'm going to say. I'd like Jason Derulo sometimes just to turn up on other people's intros. Do you know what I mean? Some record started and then Jason Derulo, I'm Jason Derulo, and then just nip off for a bit.
Tinchy Strider, real name Kwasi Esono Dankwa III. He's got a degree in digital arts and he played for Leighton Orient's youth team. How tall is Tinchy Strider?
5'5".
Yes.
I mean, this is my specialist subject. Have I not mentioned this? This is my specialist subject, James, the height of pop stars.
He's not the smallest man to have a UK number one, though, is he?
Smallest man? Give me a clue. Leo Sayer? Jimmy Osmond? Although he was a boy, I suppose, wasn't he?
Well, you don't have to be rich.
Huh?
To be his girl.
You don't have to be... Prince is the shortest pop star
Yep,
ever.
5'2". Male pop star to have a UK number one.
Okay. That's a good pub quiz, isn't it?
Yep. Also in N-Dubs, Talisa.
Kylie's shorter than 5'2", isn't she?
She's not a man.
Well, we'll just leave a pregnant pause there. Fill in your own comments.
Do you remember Talisa?
I do remember Talisa.
She was on... Was she X Factor judge or something like that?
Yeah, let's say so. I was out the country, James, as I keep saying. I was not engaged in this world a little bit.
Not taking any responsibility, are you? In late 2009, she started a feud with LaRue.
Really?
Yeah.
About what?
Because Ellie Jackson has stated that all females that do hip-hop music dress up like prostitutes.
Right.
Talisa took offence, saying she shouldn't talk about people's jobs that way. It's just wrong. Where was she brought up? In a barn? And then called her a twat.
I'm going to side with Talisa in this example.
I think so. But also, isn't that... Were you brought up in a barn? That's what you say when people don't close the door, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an unusual use of that insult.
Saying I'm dressed like a prostitute? Why? Were you brought up in a barn?
Yeah, I mean, she could have said other things. Because she said, saying I dressed up like a prostitute, it's like Piccadilly Circus in here. Well, it is interesting, isn't it, LaRue, the Nepo babe? No, I'm not saying that again. LaRue, saying that, I mean, you could easily have a go at the people who make 80s-inspired pop music, dress up like an androgynous Annie Lennox rip-off as well, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be defending Talisa so strongly.
You're not the only one, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know the saga about Talisa and the fake shake?
She's hardly on this record, Talisa, isn't she? Let's just say that. Even though she gets, she's on the video and she gives a little shout out, she doesn't really appear. It's all Dappy's work, dubs. Go on, tell me about the shake. It rings a vague bell.
Yeah, in 2013, Talisa was arrested on suspicion of supplying Class A drugs, but the case fell apart because it was a sting operation by the fake sheikh Mazza Mahmood, who would go on, as a sort of direct result of this, to be convicted of perverting the course of justice. He was basically entrapping celebrities. He'd had some initial success finding genuine corruption, like the cricketing spot fixing scandal. That was Mazza Mahmood. But then he just got into just trying to do gotchas on people, and he ended up going to prison.
Good riddance. Is that a thing to say? She says I dress up like a prostitute. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
I mean, it's landfill, isn't it?
I mean, I'm amazed we spoke about it as much as we have.
Well, we haven't been talking about the record, that's why.
Okay. See, I don't understand how you're number one, as it was alluded to. Neither do we, seemingly, James.
Number 2.
Down 1 to 2. Last week's number 1. It would go back to the top of the charts in 2 weeks' time, and it will be in the charts for 38 weeks. It's Boom Boom Pow by Black Eyed Peas. It's a huge number 1 in America as well. It's at number 1 for 12 weeks. It has one note. It says boom 168 times. The structure has 3 beats in one song. It's not lyrics, it's audio pattern, structure, architecture. Not my words, the words of will.i.am.
Well, he would know. I vaguely remember this record, and it kind of sounded futuristic at the time, a little bit. It's interesting to hear it 15 years later. It sounds so nostalgic now. I've got a mate called Barry, right, and he's the sort of bloke who I don't really want to see.
Is he going to listen to this?
Who knows? But also, whenever I do see him, after a bit, I begin to think, oh, you're good fun, actually. You're quite a laugh. That is essentially how I feel about Black Eyed Peas. It's often caused a little reaction in me of, nah, and then they work their way in.
Yeah, I think this is their least good single.
I would agree with that, if partially just to try and suck up to you.
You don't have to do that.
It's another record with a self-referencing will.i.am, of course. Cannot help himself.
Did you know will.i.am drives a Jaguar?
No,
I made that up.
It's a simple song, 3 chords, over and over again, A minor, G, D minor. I would strum them on my guitar, but I don't want you to turn this off now. I mean, it's not necessarily classic songwriting, but I imagine if you were dancing to this in 2009, you might have had a great time.
Yeah, maybe. But even as a dance record, I don't think it's up to much. It's going out of its way to be as futuristic sounding as possible. But it reminds me of, there's a scene in one of the Matrix movies, it might be the second Matrix movie, where all the humans who are in the sort of the underground thing, and they're planning their rebellion against the machines, they have a disco. And the disco looks so unappealing that at that point in the movie I just went, oh, do you know what? I want the robots to win.
Yeah.
If this is the future, to hell with it.
They took something perfect and take a red pill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this.
All right.
No, I wouldn't choose to listen to it. And even if it came on, it's not like a dance floor filler. I don't think, not for me. It's massively overplayed, but tonight's going to be a good night. At least that gets people up and moving.
Yeah, it's a stronger or more obvious hook, you know. They've got loads of songs, haven't they? Black Eyed Peas, like I alluded to, they begin to work their way in. I didn't mind this so much. I'm gonna do Daniel Merriweather on you a little bit and say, oh, it's all right. I had it on loud for a little bit when I was walking around and in my car and in my kitchen, you know, it made a difference. So I imagine in a club, in situ as it should be.
Yeah, I can imagine you at the lights with this blasting out.
With my arm out my window.
Yeah.
Sucking a lollipop.
There are a couple of bits in it I really do like.
Yeah, go on.
I like the sick burn. I'm so 3008. You're so 2008.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
a
nice.
sick burn, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also the bit where Fergie sings, all the people in the place. I love that. I love how broad that is as a reference to who she's shouting out to. Because I was like, hey, I'm a person. I'm in a place.
You are in a place.
She's singing to me.
Yep.
All the people in the place. Because sometimes it's like all the party people in the place to be, and they've gone, no, that's too specific.
Yeah.
We don't want to eliminate people who aren't party people, who aren't in a place to be. So could you just broaden it out a little bit more?
Every living organism in some sort of realm.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time. Why not?
All tangible carbon-based creatures.
I realise I don't know anything about Black Eyed Peas apart from will.i.am and Fergie. They're the only two I can name.
Well, there's Apple the Apple,
Yeah, go on.
and there's Taboo.
Any good stories about them that you know?
I know their real names.
Yeah, go on.
There's Alan Pineda Lindo
Yeah.
and Jamie Lewis Gomez. So the first names of the Black Eyed Peas are Jamie, Alan, Will, and Stacey. That's Fergie's first name.
You're going to do the old...
Yeah, because if in ABBA, using the ABBA system of naming the band after the first letters of the members, they'd be called Jaws.
I like that boom boom pow, them chickens jacking my style. They tried to copy my swagger, but I'm on the next shit now. Just like to throw them in sometimes.
You're copying my swagger. But I've moved on, mate. What's the next shit? It's been written by David Brent.
Well, they have got a touch of that. I mean, even Where Is the Love, which I love that song, by the way. The first time I heard that, I thought, don't be so on the nose, Black Eyed Peas. But then that version they sang with Ariana Grande at the Manchester Bombings concert made me cry, James. I watch that sometimes, her and Black Eyed Peas singing that song to give myself the feels. So I love them for that contribution, at least. He's an interesting character, will.i.am, I think, sometimes.
When he dies, will he be Willie Was?
Now, will.i.am says, music is my therapy and my straitjacket. Music keeps me sane and keeps my mind on something. It's fragile up here. That's a good quote, I think. I'm going to call it the creative process. You hear comedians say it, don't you? What are they doing that for? They must have loads of money. They might need to.
I think there are definitely people for whom that is the case. Paul McCartney's still putting out albums. If ever someone didn't need to.
Yeah. He says, though, I do it because I love it. And even if I didn't get paid for it, if I'd made no money from it, I'd probably still be doing it anyway. So that's a little compulsion, isn't it?
Yeah. Still, boom, boom, pow. Where do you think it sits in the pantheon of songs that are about boom booms? So you've got, Boom Boom Shake the Room.
Yeah.
You've got Boom 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 by the Out Here Brothers.
Yeah.
Boom Boom Boom, I Want You in My Room by the Venga Boys.
Sophisticated Boom Boom by the Shangri-Las.
Oh, very nice.
Boom Boom Out Go the Lights by John Lee Hooker or some old blues singer. I'm going to say it's bottom of all them because I prefer all of them songs off the top of my head.
Even the Out Here Brothers.
The UK's number one.
This week's number one, by this week I mean May the 28th, 2009. By number one I mean Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal. Featuring somebody or other. Armand Van Helden. What's his name?
Armand Van Helden.
Thank you.
It's not featuring, it's and.
My apologies,
It's
Armand.
more collaborative.
My apologies, Armand. This is I'm going to say, new British National Anthem.
I did not see that coming. Yeah, why not? Yeah. It would make sense.
Thanks.
Because we're all a little bit bonkers in this country, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hey, we're all a little bit bonkers.
I love this record. If you did change the words of I'm bonkers to we're all bonkers, you could do that in this song. All that I wake up every day in the you could change it to we wake up in the day, we do this, that and the other. Still works great, I think.
Yeah.
And when people join in and sing along to it and dance to it, I have dropped this when I've done occasional DJing. I saw him do it live at Glastonbury once, which I wouldn't mind talking about later. This record sends people mad.
But would Thomas Tuchel sing it before football internationals? That's what the Daily Mail would want to know.
Yeah, maybe.
What's German for I'm bonkers? Ich bin bonkers.
All right, then let me dig into some YouTube comments, which I like. We'll talk about the record in a little bit, James. This appealed to me a little bit. Jules6342 says it's when you drink a 50p energy drink that you got from the post office. That's it.
That is exactly what this song is. Yeah. They have nailed that.
And it's my favourite because it got 177 replies, this comment, right? And then some people got into it. You can get 30p ones from a Euro shop. And then some people going Aldi has them for 20p. And then someone came in at the end going, are you buying a can of energy drink at a post office?
Who's that for? The pensioners buying it.
I liked it.
I'll have my pension, please, and also these energy drinks. It's Energy Drink, the single.
Yeah. I mean, I went to as I mentioned whenever I can, or if it's relevant at least, let's say. So at Glastonbury once, I was strolling over to see Dizzy Rascal. It was good. watched a couple of songs. He sang this one. Something happened, James. The field went mad, started moving around a little bit. The dust kicked up. I mean, I'd been watching them for 2 or 3 songs, so this had happened before. So people were so excited. The dust came up. Everyone was ensconced in some... You couldn't really see much further than 6 foot in front of you. It caused a little meteorological phenomenon, I'm going to say, this record, seeing it live, just the way people danced a bit more to it than they already were. They got a bit more excited than they already were, and it literally kicked up a storm that I'll never forget that moment.
I think it knocks other songs in this top 10, the sort of dancey nature, into a cocked hat, I think. It's so much more interesting than Boom Boom Pow. I'm so much more likely to dance to this than to that.
Yeah, interestingly, I think, compared to Black Eyed Peas, it's quite punk. I mean, that's got the production, the futuristic thing, there's more stuff going on. This is a Dumbo song in a many way. He's bonkers, he doesn't care, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But how can this riff not be appealing? Stupid.
Dizzy Rascal said, to be honest, Armand Van Helden just put that track in my lap, man. I get it, it's party music. I knew it wasn't a lyrical assault. I don't mean this to diminish what he does, but it is, from Dizzy Rascal, it is the same bit over and over again.
Look, Dizzy Rascal, in my opinion, he hasn't got the most technical flow. He's not the greatest rapper in the world. He's absolutely the best at being Dizzy Rascal, though.
Yeah, he's the dizziest rascal
For sure.
that there ever was.
Yeah.
People say I've got to get a grip, but I've let Sonny D give me a slip. He's been on the energy drinks again.
Been on the energy drinks from the post office. This is one of the songs that I sometimes use as a, let's call it, a little bit of inner motivation. The sentiment and the spirit behind it is joyful, isn't it? You know, I don't want to dismiss it or take it for granted.
Why did this song re-enter the top 40 in August 2012?
Olympics opening ceremony.
That's exactly right.
It's a great moment in the ceremony, wasn't it?
Yeah, he sings this live in the opening ceremony. Also has the high honour of being parodied in an episode of Horrible Histories.
Oh, really?
Yes, by Simon Farnaby, dressed as Croesus, singing a song called Minted, about how much money he's got.
The fantastic comedian Rob Deering, let's give him a shout out. He does a little version of this song. He's basically going on about how he's walking around in the autumn.
Yes.
I don't need to do the punchline. Check out that video for Conkers on YouTube, though. Love Rob Deering. I mean, we could have a few little quotes from Dizzy Rascal if you like. From just looking after them at the top of my head, it would allude to what I was saying earlier about him not necessarily having the greatest lyrical flow, but there's nobody better at being him. Do you want to hear some quotes by him?
Yeah.
On the official website, Brainy Quotes. One of them, James, is, "Yeah, I love festivals, man." Great quote. One is, then he says, "You can never have enough winter jackets." Great quote, thank you.
Is he my nan?
I like going to the Caribbean, just having nice holidays. Do you know what I mean? I think. Can we get into this? I think we can get what you mean.
Can we have these on posters that we can put up in our kitchen, please?
I want to find more of them. I'm liking these. They're so simplistic. This is a good quote, James. Let's delve into this.
Okay.
To an extent, everyone is jealous of everyone.
Everyone is jealous of everyone.
So that either means there's no jealousy or they're all somehow... Are we jealous of everyone? I can't imagine that. Some people I don't feel jealous about. Let's say, the poor homeless man on the street. On the other hand, he hasn't got loads of debt and he's not having to have a direct debit. So maybe I am jealous of him. I'm not. I'm being silly. Hey, help the homeless, yeah? Now, this is a good quote. If you believe you can achieve, innit?
He's just reading that off someone's office wall.
He's got this quote. I swear too much.
He's kind of underdone by the fact that he doesn't swear in that quote. I swear too fucking much.
And maybe to end this little bit of nonsense, Dizzy Rascal says, even I find myself boring sometimes. I know the feeling, Diz.
So of all these songs in this top 10, Andy, which one is your favourite?
As I say, I knew loads of them, but I'm going to go for this week, I believe, LaRue, In For The Kill. It's catchy. Catchy, and I like singing along with it.
For me...
Sorry, what about you?
For me, it's going to have to be my close personal friend. Still hasn't replied to that email. Daniel Merriweather.
Come on, Daniel, reply to James.
And Red. Of these 10 songs, that is the one I would choose to listen to again.
Hey, I'm not about to Merryweather shame you. Great choice.
Well, some people pay for thrills, and you can pay for thrills by signing up to our bonus tracks episode on Patreon, where we talk about songs that are in the charts but not the top 10 and never get into the top 10.
We would never talk about them.
Yeah, but we feel that they should be brought to people's attention, and the people we think it should be brought to the attention of are the ones who give us some money.
We appreciate it. As I say, listen to the playlist that is in the descriptions, partially because it makes more sense to what we've just said. And also, it's always good to have some music in your life, isn't it? And even if you don't approve of all of them, good to challenge yourself sometimes, I'm going to say, James.
You can always skip. And on our playlist, you will hear the 6 songs that we talk about in the bonus tracks episode, including a punk song that ends up in a musical, 3 female pop superstars, and a song that I just really, really like and wanted Andy to listen to. Oh, and a song that you would be absolutely convinced got to the top 10, but never ever did.
Good old British charts, always keeping us on our toes.
If you sign up to our Patreon, you will get access to that and all the bonus tracks episodes we've done for every single Shooby-Dooby-Doo What podcast in existence to date.
Early access to live shows, interaction, stuff we haven't quite thought of yet because we're recording this when we haven't even put them out. So how on earth could anybody be signing up to it? But we appreciate your time.
Access to bodily fluids. Yeah. Anything you want, really.
As Dizzy Rascal says, to end with a great quote from him, all that really moves me is music.
Thanks very much for listening. Shooby-Dooby-Doo-Wop.
Bop bop shoo up.